So here I'm showing you the deck of the bridge. You can see some of the decking boards have been removed. There was 2 layers of boards there, so the water pushed them off. Anyway, this is the underside. Kind of shows you the amount of debris that came rushing down this river. I think I showed you that in a previous video. This is the 3rd one of the series, and this one is really focused on search and rescue, who believed there was body parts on this bridge, because upstream about a mile, maybe half a mile, there was a campground, and you can see a lot of these parts are from an RV. It got washed up on this bridge, stuck actually on the bridge, on the 2 structures. This one here at the end and the one in the middle I just passed over. I'm going to try and show you how much crap is down there. And all of this stuff was just stuck there because of the force of the water. Just pushed it up against the cement. The cement didn't move, the structure of the bridge didn't move, but the water just pushed all this stuff up so hard that it just stuck there. You can see it's hanging there, but you see there's parts of trailer. The framework, there's carpet there, and I have a long pole that I hooked my GoPro to and stuck it underneath and tried to film this as best I could to give you an idea what I'm dealing with. That guy down there at the end, down the thing, he lost the 3 cabins. This is looking upstream, and if you look up there, you can see the campers. There's a couple that are still there, surprisingly, but I don't know where these 2 people were. It was a man and a wife, and I don't know where they were there. That's the electric. Well, that obviously got ripped right off, so the electric's out on the far side of the bridge. But you can see that the structure itself of the bridge is intact. I don't know how good it is. We'll have to have an engineer look at that just to make sure it's okay. What we're going to do, I'm not sure. There's another trailer part, and all the parts on the trailer are just ripped to shreds. So that's what happens with this water. It just tears everything to shreds, including bodies. They told us they were looking for body parts. That was gross. I was just disgusted by that and saddened, and just to think about, I don't even know why these people stayed. It just made no sense to me, except they didn't think it would be bad. So, but why even risk it? But they did, and now they've died. So their camper came rushing down the river, and they're still looking for those body parts. So that's pretty much what this video is about. So when search and rescue came to look at this, they just picked through the junk. They didn't remove it. In fact, they kind of made it more difficult for me to get rid of it. They didn't clean off the bridge, so they had a dog that looked for stuff, and I think the dog kind of indicated where to look. They didn't know, but they just kind of made it a bigger mess for me, and I'll show you how they removed the stuff in a minute. But again, this is done on a long pole with a GoPro, so it's not the greatest of footage, but it's the best I could do. I wasn't going to get underneath this bridge, and I wasn't going to wade in the water. 2 people dying, that was enough. You could see how the rebar got ripped out back there. That is part of this trailer that came down. Just totally destroyed it. Those trailers are made terribly. And you could see that's what hit us. So back over on the other side that sits between the road and the bridge is this pretty substantial swath of land. And I never had stones or any kind of frontage there. So the river kind of shifted, gouged out the, going downstream, gouged out the left side and left a bunch of stones and now kind of a beach on this side. But you can see down here where my sister is standing how many stones we got. They were just pushed down by the force of water into this area, which at one time, it's now a rushing spring, or I don't know what to call it. It's overflow from the spring on the other side of the road up the hill, but just catastrophic mess. And all these stones, I mean, I don't even know what to do. An excavator? I mean, and FEMA's not giving us any money for this. It's not my primary home. It was going to be a vacation home, and at this point, I don't know. So there's a gully down there, and there used to be a gully all along here, underneath all those stones, and everything was blocked by these trees. It came down from this culvert, which is right. You can see the culvert. It's right there. And it changes its position and started coming down over here behind those trees and down here. It made a whole new path, very much encroaching on the property. So if we, well, when we do it, we'll have to redig that trench and divert this water, because this is no good, all of this water coming down here. So if you watched the previous video, you saw some clips of 3 homes getting pushed down the river. That is this area. I'm shooting upstream from this. That's the area that all the mud got washed away. The bridge in this case is going to be to the left. I'm scanning over there now. You can see the last pillar on my bridge, but that's just a huge amount of dirt and stone that was pushed away. So I don't even know what that would cost to repair, and if I will do it. And this is from upstream. Looking back down, you can see the pillars have somewhat been cleared. The middle one wasn't, but the one on the end was cleared, and I'm going to show you that footage in a minute. I do have a surveillance camera that kind of showed what they were doing in 60-second clips, but they actually drove a machine down the side of the river. So like I said earlier, search and rescue was all over our bridge because it had so much debris and RV debris hanging on it, and it was partly because of the campground up top, and 2 lives were lost, so they thought that they may be body parts on our bridge. So there must have been, I don't know, the sheriffs were there, the police were there, the fire department was there, the army was there. I mean, every kind of service that was out there was on this bridge. And you'll see, looking at these clips from my surveillance camera, that there were so many people on this bridge trying to figure out, they were looking for the body parts. And I'm glad I wasn't there, because just the whole idea of that was gross. It was really depressing. So if you look at the far end of the bridge, you can see one of the dogs sniffing something. And the dog did pick up a scent, but they did not find any body parts, despite the fact that they looked at this and pulled all of the material off, which you'll see in a minute, the machine that they actually drove down the river to pull the trailer parts off in the steps and process to look for the parts of the bodies. So this large machine drove down the riverbed. You can see it in the distance there. I know those guys are standing in front of it, but you'll see it working. And I don't know if it was amphibious or what, because it was in the water. And anyway, pulled down the river on that far side, which is the left side, heading downstream. And it just started pulling stuff away off the bridge structure, the furthest one out. And, well, they didn't remove anything hardly at all from the middle section. And like I said, I'm going to have to figure that out. And I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to do that, because it would require either hanging and rappelling over the bridge or getting somebody to get down inside of there. I don't know. I'm at a loss for what to do with this, unless somebody can drive an excavator down the river when it gets low and do it. I don't know. It's kind of got me at a loss, and I like to clean it up, but it's making it it's pretty difficult to think about. So, on a good note, after all of this, they did not find any body parts, so they stopped doing search and rescue at this point. I think this was their last hope to find these people. And what happens is that the river is so torrential. It's just a torrent, and it just tears everything to bits. You could see what it does to a trailer, and it just twisted the metal, and so our flesh is just nothing to stand up to the power of this water, and especially when it slams into a bridge or gets mixed with other. It's just gross. Anyway, they did not find the bodies on the bridge, and I don't think they're going to continue to look. I think they're done. I shot this on the other side of the river upstream, and you can see what's left in the middle standard or post structure. Keep in mind, this is all on bedrock with cement. So it was built very well. In fact, there was a dam going across here at one time. And these are some scenes from down below my property. You can see the bridge in the, yeah, right there. And that's the pile of junk that they left me. I just don't know how I'm going to get rid of that. It's just a colossal mess. And it's not, it's a frame of a trailer. It's not like wood that can be all cut up with a chainsaw and hauled off. It's massive, heavy-duty stuff. I thought this place downstream might be a good place to remake a bridge, but that's probably more trouble than it's worth. I'm trying to think of other ways to make this happen, and I'm just not seeing it. But I'm not a bridge builder, so we are talking with some to see what they think.